This is the 217 Recovery Podcast with Corey Winfield.
I'm kind of on the outs with the Little People of America.
Wow.
So I tried getting on a dating site once, and they would not let me on there because I am not a little person.
And co-host Marnie Winfield.
You're tapering yourself down from your hangover or whatever. Oh no, when that started rolling into a whole another entire day of drinking, it just didn't stop.
It is the 19th of November. I almost said September. It's weird. But it's November. It's a Friday. This is last night's podcast that we didn't do because my belly hurt.
Right.
Because I'm still recovering from surgery. They went inside my body and took things out.
The whole organ.
Mm-hmm. And I'm still strong today. Of course, if you ask Marnie, she'd be like, no, he's crying every other minute. Oh, my belly hurts. Oh, it hurts. It feels like someone's punching me.
Very valid.
And stabbing me at the same time. Oh, I can't sleep. I can't lay. Oh.
No,
But I mean, that's probably what I do sound like.
I know, but I feel for you.
I know. And yesterday, you celebrated my birthday again.
I did.
Because we were coming back from California on my birthday. So we spent the whole day on a stupid plane. Yeah. And then got on another plane, and finally came home. So it was not a very good birthday. So we celebrated yesterday. Mm-hmm. That was nice.
A pumpkin pie for his cake with a candle.
Mm-hmm. Some shiny earrings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that was pretty cool. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Made my day feel really good, and it was very special.
It was a very depressing birthday for you.
Yeah.
And it was not planned when we were looking at our travel plans. It occurred to us. We're like, we already booked it.
Planned, like, I'll just fly back on my birthday, but we just didn't know how crappy it was going to be.
Yeah, it was miserable.
I mean, you cannot not plan your return flight. I mean, we planned it.
Right.
Anyway. Yeah, it is the 19th of November. My name is Corey Winfield.
My name is Marnie Winfield.
And this is the 217 Recovery Podcast. Now, like I said yesterday, we normally do them on Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays, Sundays. Sunday is the Marnie's replay. But yesterday, I was just, I was hurting so bad. And it was like, I just can't muster up the strength to go back there to the office to do a podcast. And if I did, I didn't know how good it was going to be. And not that that's ever stopped us before. but yeah, so it was just kind of like, let's just hold off and let's do one tomorrow of some quality, which we are going to get into some things. You mentioned that you wanted to talk about, relationships and just disclosure. Mm-hmm. And when you pop that on the person that you're, interested in, or maybe interested in you and how drinks and stuff like that. You're just like, hey, let's meet for drinks. And you gotta go, boom, I don't do that. Or do you go, well, okay, maybe I can just do it this one time and be normal again. And this person doesn't know me. I mean, there's a lot of things that can go into that. A lot of anxiety can build up to that. But before we get into all that good stuff, I have an announcement to make. Oh, no. That means...
Okay.
Yeah.
See, it's been so long, he doesn't even know his buttons anymore.
On December 9th, the year of 2021 of the Lord, yours truly is going to be in a city that I pronounce different than most people that live in that city.
Oh, right.
The name of that city is Gaylord.
Mm-hmm. Gaylord.
See, and that's okay. We'll get on that in a minute. I'll bring up dictionary.com. We'll have some fun. Going to be at the First United Methodist Church. It's going to be a fan forum.
And the date is?
The 9th.
Of?
December. 2021 of the Lord.
December 9th.
Yep.
In Gaylord.
Gaylord. Yeah, Gaylord. If you look up Gaylord, you're going to type in Gaylerd, and you're like, there's no Gaylord, Michigan.
When we go to Gaylord on the 9th of December, we will talk to the locals there and say, we'll take, 10, 20. Just the first thing we ask them is, how do you say the name of this town?
See, I don't know if that's the right thing to do, because I read that book by Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People. And pointing out people's flaws is not a good way to make friends and influence people.
It doesn't matter what the dictionary says.
I'm not going to tell them, sorry, you missed English class, but
you're talking about phonetics.
Okay, and don't bring it back to the French people, because the French, because Paris, Paris, it wouldn't be Gaylord. It wouldn't go that way. No, see what happened was, somebody was like, oh my God, the name of our city used to be the Happy Lord, but now it means gay. Oh no, let's change it. And people in Michigan do not, well, there's some that have accents, but most people don't have accents like the South. Now, if you're in the South and you're like, hey, what's that city over there? Oh, that's Gaylord. Okay, I'd buy it because I lived in the South and I know how that goes. A name of Mike turns into Mac. Yeah. Tom.
You're like, your eyes are bulging out of your head right now.
I'm dead serious about this. Tom, the name Tom, turns into time. Time, Tom, same thing. Same exact word.
Wow.
So I get it. But in Michigan, to just forget the O's in the word and put an E in there, it confuses me. I don't get it.
Okay.
Gaylord. We're going to go down there and we're going to haul the dirt to Gaylord.
Well,
we're going to bring back 16 cattle.
We'll just let however the people there call it.
I'm just saying,
right way.
I'm going to be there.
Whatever they say is the right way is the way it is.
No, honey. Because then you can look at Russia.
You want them to like you. You're not going to go to this
then we're going to start talking about Russia, and they're going to be like, oh, well, because Russia says it's cool, then it's cool. Then we can do that.
Then we can count how many people walk out before you even do your presentation because you pissed them off.
No, because they won't know, because I'm not going to confront them on them saying the name of their city wrong.
Okay.
Should I wear a shirt that says Gaylord? And I'll spell it Gaylord.
Do the phonetics
L-E-R-D.
from the alphabet underneath or from the dictionary. Yeah. No.
Should I hand out shirts? 217 recovery was at Gaylord. I'm like, someone said I was in Gaylord, so right. I made some shirts.
Let's see. Moving on.
That's not how you spell Gaylord or Gaylord.
What's going on in that city we're speaking of?
So, the fan forum, Families Against Narcotics. Mm-hmm. They're having a forum there, and they wanted me to be the presenter. Mm-hmm. And there's a few people involved, and they reached out to me, and I said, I think I was in surgery or maybe just got out of surgery. I don't know. You know how I do. Never stop working. ABC always be closing. Mm-hmm. And I said, sure, I'll do it. I'll probably be healed up by then. And then it came to, all right, well, what are you going to talk about? I was like, time travel, what else, And that was not what I said. I said, I mean, lots of stuff, What do you want to talk about? I mean, whatever. And she's like, well, I need like a theme. Courtney, our friend, said, I need a theme, like what we can put on the flyer that we're going to send out to people on our social. Yeah. I was like, well, I don't know. Put me on the spot like that. Let me, give me like all day to think about it. And I'll shoot you back. So I did. I wrote her back, and it wasn't until the very end of the day I was like, oh my God, I got to get back to Courtney on that. And I was thinking about it all day and back and forth. And I was thinking purpose, because when I tell the story of like my recovery, I don't want to go back to the dark times of, I was, just this, that. But yeah, we've been there. We've heard that. I want to talk about the things that I did that pushed me through, those breakthrough moments that I stopped and I could look back and go, I'm changing. Mm-hmm. This is freaking awesome. I'm changing. Like, this is working. And that's the kind of stuff I wanted to talk about. But purpose, I was like, I can't just put purpose up there. So I put what I don't remember, they'll never forget. Because I remember one time I was in Buchanan and I was in my bed and I was hurting so bad. And my mother and my stepfather were over, and my mom started filming me. Mm. And she said that you're not going to remember any of this, but I'm going to have it forever and you can see it one day. And I remember I was crying and just carrying on, about how I'm such a loser and I'll never be anything. And, why don't I just die? And they should just let me die. I don't want to live anymore. I can't face anybody kind of things. And those are the feelings I was going through. I had just relapsed major hardcore. And I started thinking about that. And that's when I came up with the name of the what I'm going to talk about, is the things I don't remember. Mm-hmm. Or what I don't remember are things I'll never forget. Yeah. Because my mom will never forget those moments. And since, Families Against Narcotics, how do we help families? And I told Courtney, and she understands through the podcast, that we talk to a lot of families. A lot of people listen who have family members who are struggling. And, how many addicts listen to us? Probably none. I've said this 1,000 times. I would never listen. My mom would always try to get me to listen to things or watch things.
I mean, we have people that are still kind of, sort of, I think we have people that have been in recovery and they're kind of on the fence post on if they can do it or not.
Yeah.
And so they've been drinking, but then they'll be like, "Oh, I'm going to get back on the right track."
Yeah, that's different though.
And they tune in. They're an active addiction.
Yeah, but I mean, I was like in hardcore act. Like before because I wouldn't go to meetings. I need no therapist. I need none of that. I'm different. That's what I mean. Like hardcore, like not even attempting recovery addict.
Yeah, I'll tell you my piece on that. I remember when I was kind of like, I was totally in it, and my mom I'd talk to her on the phone. She'd be like, "Why don't you just go to a meeting?" Because I had been sober before. And I had been in, the recovery community before for almost 2 years. Granted, I was, it was nudged by the judge kind of deal. And that's a whole different other podcast, the reasons why we stay sober. But, she's like, "You need to go back to a meeting." And I'm like, "I know I need to go back to a meeting. I should go back to a meeting." And then I'm thinking, I can't show up to a meeting like this. I'm still shaken. I still haven't decided if I'm going to make this go away with booze or not, because my mom's not right there to tell me no. She's across country. I'm in Texas. I'm in an apartment all by myself, and I didn't have the strength to make that decision, and I didn't get there. So I get that part.
It's hard.
It is.
So that's what I'm gonna be doing. I'm gonna be talking in Gaylord.
Yep, on the 9th, and it's going to be really awesome.
Yep. If you go to our website, 217recovery.com, it's under events. If you need more info, like the address, stuff like that. But yeah, come out. It'll be good if you're in the area. I know Tyrone will probably be there. You'll probably be there, maybe. I don't know, maybe not. But it'll be good.
Forward me that invitation.
What invitation?
It's
on the website, 217recovery.com.
I know, but I want to be able to have it in my email.
Okay, you can go there and you can say that.
Okay.
So we'll let you talk now.
Oh, okay.
But then I got something I want to talk about too, and it kind of goes back to what you just said about meetings too. But we'll skip over that, and I'll finish it with that.
Okay. Well, why this came up is my mom got me up to go to Costco with her, because we needed a few items that we usually get at Costco.
And Costco is not a big fan of recovery. Is what I heard.
Costco did not respond to, did respond.
They did respond. They just
did respond and said
United
we can't.
Okay, anyway, back to your story. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Okay. So the point is she picks me up, and, just because we talk about what the real deal is, my mom picks me up in her stupid Miata to go to Costco, which is like a 2-person sports vehicle, which is the most ridiculous vehicle to ever take to Costco in the history of things. That's besides the point. So we get there and we get separated, obviously, just because she's out getting whatever it is she wants, and I'm going through, and they've now started the sampling things that they have available. Not as many as they had before, but they had these little stands with people that will be like, "Want to try our, or here's a sample of our, new all bleach purpose, take the sample with you." And then there was this one gentleman, and he had chicken nuggets, and I'm like not interested. I just walk right past him, and then he's like, man, and he's like getting I'm like, what? This guy really wants me to try these chicken nuggets. Like, what is going on? And the first thing he did is he had seen my sweatshirt, and he wasn't interested in having me try his chicken nuggets. He wanted to talk to me about what was going on with my shirt.
Get them digits.
No. So anyhow, I go back over, I kind of, we're already way from the stand and everything, but I'm there, and he says, "Can you tell me more about what this 217 thing is?" And, I said, it's my husband and I have a podcast, and we help people in early recovery and active addiction. And he has this huge grin on his face, and he's like, I'm coming up on 10 years, and I was like, "Yeah, right. Give me some." I'm high-fiving him. And he's like, and at that point it was like this weird semi-awkward silence, because he had just busted out with that information, obviously, because he's proud of it. I mean, 10 years.
Yeah.
10 years. And granted, this was an older gentleman, but that's something to be proud of for sure. And how many people can he just like share that information with? You know, that's a huge part of his life every single day. Then he's 10 years in one day, 10 years in 2 days, 10 years, you know, and you never lose that pride that you have when you have gotten that much time. And every day is a miracle. So I think for him to be able to share that with somebody else who is a complete stranger, I mean, my shirt makes me open to be able to talk about stuff like that because we're wearing a shirt that says it. I wore one of our shirts that says sober, period. Somebody, you know, asked me about that. And that's the times when you actually can have those kind of moments, and it's amazing. But what occurred to me was after this whole thing and this openness that we had about where we were, you know, I don't have 10 years, you know, I have 2 in some months, and which I am proud of, the same pride that man had. But I kind of thought about it as the whole disclosure piece of someone who's in recovery, which means which is basically we don't use mood or mind altering substances, right? We don't drink or drug. And in the world, since especially drinking is so socially acceptable and almost like a given with, you know, people, that when we have to have that moment where we have to make or break to share the information that we don't participate in that activity of drinking or drugs. How do we do that? You know, without it being completely uncomfortable or true, you know? So it occurred to me, especially like meeting somebody, if you're interested in somebody in a relationship or maybe even a friendship, you know, and they're like, yeah, you know, you start a new job and your coworker's like, yeah, we should go. Hey, today was rough. You know, I got a joint, you know, let's go smoke some after work, you know, at my place. Come on over. You're a cool person. Let's be friends. When do you share that information? And are they going to say, okay, never mind, don't come over to my house? So if you're not going to smoke pot, you know, with me. Or is it like, all right, no, I get it. Well, we can go do something else. Or.
Yeah, well, I mean, I would be like, yeah, I don't smoke pot, bro. Like, not my thing. And I don't want to go to your house anyway. But I mean, if it was like, hey, let's go to the movies, or let's go bowling. People love bowling. And before we go, how about you know, stop by and we'll smoke a little bit, or, you know, pregame in my house. Like, yeah, I don't pregame anymore. You know, I mean, something that I am comfortable now to say, I don't pregame like that. And I probably wouldn't want to hang out with somebody. Well, first of all, I wouldn't go bowling, and I wouldn't go to the movies with some dude, I don't think. So I don't know, but I know what you're saying though, the hypothetical of just somebody else's life. And I guess they'd have to be comfortable with just saying, no, this isn't what I do. But they probably wouldn't want to be hanging around with those kind of people anyway. I mean, and not that they're bad people, but it's just. Let's
say you got along with this. You worked with them for 2 weeks. New job, worked with them. They were coworkers for 2 weeks.
Okay, let me
you guys. Okay,
role play.
Are you getting it? Are you getting there? Okay.
Yep. What do we do for a living? Like, what do we do?
You are waiters. No.
Waiters.
Yeah. No, you work at Starbucks.
Okay. Do I like make coffee and stuff? Mm-hmm. I get tips.
You're a barista.
Okay. All right. So I'm a hipster.
Barista.
But a hipster.
What does that mean? How would that be?
I got like a mustache. And I'm like hip.
Okay, so you're a slick looking barista.
Mm-hmm. Not like a pedophile stash.
And there's a person that works there, a guy that works there, that you guys make jokes and like, you know, you get along, and you can tell this is the kind of person I want to be friends with.
What's up, Steve?
Yeah, like you're excited when you know that you guys are working the same shift because you know he's cool.
Great.
And you know you can like, it's kind of a not as tense environment. So you know this guy's a cool person. Why wouldn't he be awesome to hang around with after work?
Okay.
Or do something else with or whatever.
All right.
But he's the first one that says something about hanging out.
All right. So you're Steve.
We're doing this for real? Yeah.
Foam it up, baby.
Be like, so it's like 20 minutes before the shift's over.
Okay.
Or no, wait. Hey, Corey, what time are you off today?
What time do I get off?
Yeah.
I don't know. Whenever I get home. You know what I'm saying?
This isn't working.
Oh. Well, out 10 or 7.
7.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I'm on the clock till 7:30, but God, today was a messed up day. It was crazy busy. I got some weed. You want to come over to my place after work? We can smoke some.
No.
That's just like no.
Yeah, I don't smoke weed, man.
That you would say just nah. I mean, you like this guy.
Yeah, I'm like nah. Not my thing, bro.
No alternative. We can hang out without smoking pot.
I might. Well, what I would do is I would play it up. I'm like, no, man, that's not my thing, bro. You know what is my thing?
What's your thing?
You ever heard of Satan?
Oh my gosh! No, you're making this
new Bible. It's called "Worship Till You Die."
Never mind then.
Well, that's what I would do, and he'd be like,
you
whoa.
wouldn't. No,
all right,
you wouldn't.
Winfield, staying away from that guy.
This is not good messaging for the people that are listening.
I told you about that when I did in jail, right?
No.
Like this one dude was like, let's pray over our breakfast. And we're like, seriously, bro, we're all in jail, you know? And so they pray. And I was like, all right, let me pray now. Dear Lucifer. And like, whoo, everybody jumped back. Anyway, it was quite comical. I liked that.
I guess so. All right. So
Anyway.
that role play didn't go, but one more.
All right.
And this is what I think. Have you done online dating? It's okay if you say yes, that we're married now. But
Well, we used to play that game, Plenty of Fish, where, it was called Hot or Not, but it was using a Plenty of Fish profile.
okay. So do they have in the profile a reference to drinking?
Yeah. Yeah,
They
it
do.
does, because that was one of the things we'd run down if they drink or not, or use
Okay.
drugs.
And what were the options?
Do you drink or use drugs?
That's it? Is it yes or no?
I believe so.
We should look it up.
I don't want to.
Not right now, but point being is if you're putting in your profile and you're at a point where you're for real about your recovery and you know that you can't handle being in a relationship with anybody who does drink or drug, even if it's socially, do you have enough in you to actually write that? I mean, it's going to cut your numbers down.
Yeah, and you'll see, I remember seeing people that would put in there, it was usually women that had bad relationships with like spouses or whoever that drank, and they'd be like, I am not dating people who drink, or if you drink, then just keep going, kind of things. You would see that from time to time. But
That's kind of a different element that would be looked at, because those are people that are angry at people who are alcoholics.
right.
Which I get that part, but I'm talking about you presenting yourself to this internet,
Right. And
all of the people looking at you as potential candidates to be their girlfriend, boyfriend, husband.
Being in
wife.
recovery is something that you should be proud of. I mean, there's nothing, that's bad. Oh, I don't use drugs or drink anymore. You piece of shit.
Right.
Like nobody's going to judge you for that. So, and there's a difference between just not drinking or not using drugs and being in recovery. That's the huge part that I think a lot of people have a rough time with, especially in early recovery, is because, okay, I'm not drinking, I'm not using, I'm going to meetings, but they're not doing the other things that they need to do in their life to complete the circle, to actually be living a great life in recovery. It's like, well, I stopped doing that. I stopped doing this. Okay. Well, what have you picked up? What have you started doing? What can you do? What move some goals around, you have to keep moving forward. Otherwise you're going to get stuck and you're going to trip and you're going to go right back. And it's just going to be the same cycle over and over. So for me, that's the personal advice, I guess, is just keep that going. But if you're just not drinking and stuff like that, then okay, that's cool too. That's a start, man. And people will say all over the board, where you're at in your recovery, everybody's different. Yeah. And that's true. But just be very careful with that. And if you're on a dating site, be honest, man. And if you're full-fledged in recovery, you're probably not even going to think twice. You're going to put right on there, I'm a person in
Right.
long-term recovery. things are going great in my life. I prefer, there's nothing wrong with people who drink or use drugs, but I just prefer to find someone that doesn't partake in that kind of thing.
And they're out. Those people are out there,
Yeah.
It's just, I know that, like for me, when I was starting a job and I was in, and I had started my, working my program and stuff, you just say, I'm a person in recovery, and they know what that means. The general population knows what that means. And if they don't, and they're like, what? Just be like, yeah, I don't drink or drug anymore. And, I'm done. I have been done with that for a while, and move on. You be proud of it. Make it like, this is me and this is who I am. So take it or leave it, kind of deal. And they'll if they don't want anything to do with you because you don't drink or drug, well, their loss.
Yeah.
But also, maybe at the same time, that's a gift. Because, you don't want to hang around with people that are like pressuring you or being like, oh man, we're not going to, you're not going to give up on it. Just smoke a little, or just come out with us for a couple drinks or whatever.
Right. Or I used to use heroin, but now I just smoke pot and it's different.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
but that teaches own, and you have to give yourself some credit too. Know when to say when, know what you're looking for in another person, and if that's not what you're getting, if you don't feel like that's how you want to be treated, you need to cut ties, let that go.
Yeah.
And find someone out there that is going to treat you the way you want to be treated. That's how I found you, Marnie.
Yeah.
Because you treat me the way I want to be treated. And I tried to do the same to you. I'm not bitching and moaning about my stomach or about something else. But that's the kind of relationship that you need to, try to go find. And a lot of people are like, yeah, man, but I need some booty. Mm-hmm. Do you? At what expense?
Right.
Not at your sobriety.
Yep.
I'm telling you, being sober is better than getting some booty sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Well,
all the time, but it's just, I got lucky, I guess. But God's looking out for you though. And he'll put the right people in the place at the right time.
Yeah.
And people are like, yeah, but I'm struggling. I've been doing this. I've been doing so good. I got 6 months. How come I can't find a woman? Don't worry about it, man. Just keep doing the things you're supposed to be doing, and that person will come along. Maybe that person's not ready yet. Maybe that person's still in active addiction and a year away from stumbling across your greatness. You have no idea what God has in plan or in store for you. So just keep going with it, man, and just keep doing the things you're supposed to be doing, and then finding the next thing that you're supposed to do. It's like I said, set some goals, keep moving forward with your life. Move it forward. It's not going to move forward for you. Right. If you just get up, go to work, come home, go to a meeting, get up, go to work. Okay. That's all that's going to happen the next year, because you're not setting anything in motion.
Right.
You want to write a book, figure out how to do it. I want to write a book. My dad, we were sharing some stories with him. He was just like, my God. Son.
I know. He says, you got to write a book.
Yeah. He's like, people love that stuff. I'm like, yeah, I know. But that's something I want to do. But that's a long-term goal. Make a movie. I'm going to make a movie. Long-term goal,
Yeah.
And I think about it almost every day, and what can I do today to get me there? And the things I'm doing right now are setting other things in motion, which I think I need to do first. So it's just, I'm going with God's plan. I'm just going with the flow, and it'll all happen. But at least I have those things set up, and at least, there's vision for it.
Yeah.
As opposed to just getting up, going to work, going to some meetings, come back, do the same thing,
And I know it feels like my world is so boring and redundant, and it's okay to feel that way, but you can put fun into your life. You can do other things, with your spare time. Just don't feel like, and if that is all you're doing is work, sleep, meeting, sleep, work, maybe you need to talk to your boss about taking away some hours so you have some time for some self-care. Go shopping at the mall for a new shirt, or go to grab some lunch with some people from, your recovery home, or from, the recovery community that you've already known and you haven't been able to hang out because that's all you do.
It's funny they mentioned that because this is what I was going to talk about. And this, I can go back down a dark path, down a dark road, dark time in my life, whatever you want to say. But there would be times where I would feel like a cloudy day almost, you just feel like, something's irritating me. I don't know why. And I don't want to be alone. Mm-hmm. And I'll go to a meeting. It'll help a little. And then I'm still alone and I don't know what to do. And this is when I was, early recovery. And this was before I had lived in sober living. This was, back in 2018, probably spring, summer, fall, a little bit even. And I would reach out to people. I'd reach out to my sister, say, hey, what's going on? Or I would drive to her house, just wanting to hang out, chat, talk. She wouldn't answer the door. She wouldn't be home. I started running out of people to even reach out to. So, driving around just became not fun. Mm-hmm. And then I'd start to feel rejected. Here I am reaching out. I need somebody, nobody's there for me. Then feeling rejected, like, well, nobody wants to hang out with me. And then I'd ultimately turn right back to drinking. Mm-hmm. And then that would turn into a sense of shame, guilt, sorrow, and just
failure.
Yep. Kick it right back. Then I'd be going to meetings again. Like, I drank yesterday and I didn't know what to do. Or I wouldn't even hit the meeting, just drive right by and go take back bottles, get another bottle, take back top cans or whatever. Or maybe I had a couple dollars then, but whatever. But it was just such a, I guess, a pity party that I had for myself, because we control our own happiness. We control our own emotions. But being in that situation was something that I didn't want to be in. I tried to reach out to somebody and nobody was there for me. But like, what could I have done different? I don't know. I wasn't meant to be living alone at the time. I think that has a lot to do with it, and mm-hmm. leaving treatment and going to sober living. If you're blessed enough to have that option, take advantage of it, or, tell a family member or friend, take advantage of that, because when you're around a bunch of guys, and again, I was lucky enough to go to a house that a lot of people were in the same treatment center, and some that I hated, but at least I knew I hated them. Mm-hmm. And the other people that I liked, and it was a mix, but at least I knew those people, and it was like kind of carrying over from the treatment center and all the, good stuff you're talking in there about, yeah, man, let's just do this for real this time. And yeah, that's mm-hmm. for real. And you start seeing them fall off, and you realize too, like how quickly it can go, but I did have that luxury of being in that situation this last time. And that was something that really, 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 really helped me, where I wasn't going from treatment right back to my apartment again, mm-hmm. alone.
Right.
Where I would have those days where I would just sit there and didn't know what to do. I didn't want to watch a movie. I didn't want to go to the library. I didn't want to go for a walk. I just didn't want to be alone either.
All those things that were put in our list of things that we went over with our therapist before we left treatment, saying, when you're feeling like this, try this. Mm-hmm. Go to the library, watch a movie, go for a walk.
Yeah, I feel like doing any of that.
Right. And that will happen. And then you feel like, well, if the therapist crap doesn't work, then what does work?
Mm-hmm. But I don't know. That's the thing. Like, be aware of it, and because it happens. And 9 times out of 10, maybe my sister or a friend or whoever I'm calling picks up the phone, but that one time they don't, and now I feel rejected. That they weren't there for me, mm-hmm. in my time of need.
Right.
And well, why wouldn't I go drink then? Mm-hmm. Nobody wants to hang out with me. I drive all the way to my sister's and she doesn't answer the door, and my mom's not answering the door. And I mean, where am I supposed to go? What am I supposed to do? Mm-hmm. I should have had better options. I should have had a plan. I should have, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, this isn't one that we're trying to solve. I'm just bringing it up to bring it up because it was something that got me a few times.
Yeah, and the thing is, that list that I was speaking of options of what you can do when you're feeling down. That list is that's just a short list. I mean, think outside the box. Just know that the last thing that you could possibly do that will make things better at this moment would be to drink. That's all you need to tell yourself. No matter how bad you're feeling, no matter how sad you're feeling, no matter how angry you're feeling, just know. If you want to call me, whoever you are that's listening, or email me or whatever, and say this is how I'm feeling, I can tell you the only answer I'll have for you is definitely the answer is not to pick up.
Right. Because
it will take you back decades of ridiculous sorrow and anger, and it's backwards. It's a backwards movement, and hurt and pain and time and money and relationships and sad. It's all just a big blur of. And I guess if you've never been there, maybe it's hard for you to understand this, but that's the last possible thing that will fix it. So, like you said, we don't have an answer for when you're feeling like that. But think outside the box. Think of something else.
I guess I should have prayed.
Pray, absolutely.
And at least if you can have a thought, or just whoever can have a plan of when this does happen, when you feel rejected, when you don't want to be alone, it's just right there, man, and you can't be alone, and nobody's picking up the phone, nobody's there for you. Is there some way to set up a plan where you can prepare? I don't know what your plan is going to be. Start by praying. That's my advice there.
Well, because that God's on your side. I know it doesn't feel like it, but God's on your side. And just know that where you're at that very moment, as long as you're sober, then you're exactly where you're supposed to be right at that moment. Because, God has a plan. Just don't pick up. Things will change. Things will get better. I promise you that. Picking up is not the answer.
No, sure wasn't for me. But
no, never was for me. Ever.
Or anybody.
Yeah.
On the earth. Well, thank you for tuning in.
That was an intense one.
Thursday, Friday podcast. Again, apologize for I don't apologize for it because, I had nothing. I was hurting. Mm-hmm. I was in pain. And I think this podcast should help some people. So
yeah, and if you get our app, the 217 Recovery app, you can get it on your phone. Just go to the App Store. Then it will ding every time that we have a new podcast.
Sweet.
Yeah, that's how I know.
Dang. Some people's phone's about to be dinging right now.
Yeah. Wait for the ding.
Nice. Well, we'll talk to you tomorrow. Thanks again for listening, and be safe.
Y'all have a good day.
Thanks for listening to the 217 Recovery Podcast. For more episodes plus bonus features, download the 217 Recovery app and support recovery by rating us in the App Store.